The time is 12:13. It's technically a new day. And today's day 8 of me going on lives. It's a new shirt, so clearly this was shot completely different time and not just approximately 13 minutes since the last one. Movie magic. Today I'm going to chat about production accounting. What the hell is it? Why do you call yourself an accountant? On game shows like The Weakest Link, of which I apparently was one of the weakest links. I would like to go back. I would say I'm an accountant again, because you are more likely to what? Get casted on game shows if you do not say you're a writer and instead say you're something else. What's up, Alex? New shirt. Chavito. Thank you. I appreciate that. Peace. So when I went to college, my parents didn't go to college. They're kind of like, you're good at school, you should keep going. And then when they were like, oh, you're going to college, what are you doing? And then I was like, I don't know, but I really love writing and I really want to work in film and TV, which they'd known since middle school. And then we were kind of all like, huh. And so my dad really, really, really pushed me to get a double major in business. I really wanted to get a double major, so the first major being film. And then the second major, I really, 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 really wanted a major in theater and dance. But to be risk averse, to know that my parents wouldn't be able to provide for me when I moved to LA, to have some semblance of safety, to support myself, because I don't come from rich parents, or parents that make over 100K, or, you know, like just, it wasn't gonna happen. So I double majored. I got a degree in business from one of the top business programs in the U.S., the McCombs School of Business. Shout out to McCombs, because Texas means business. That program's so hard, like ridiculously, and again, hindsight's 2020. I knew the McCombs School of Business was very difficult to get into. I didn't realize we're playing games here, and I should have marked that as my first major instead of trying to apply as a second year to add a major. Whatever. Long story long. If you're a Longhorn, you get it. Fast forward, graduate 2014, applied to UTLA, got into that, did that my last semester, walked the stage, stayed in LA. My first job was in accounting. I worked for a construction firm that works on $1 to $3 million ish remodels or houses, etc. In like the Beverly Hills, West LA area. Shout out to my fraternity brother. Brian, you're the realist. Norma, thank you so much for letting me be your assistant and wreak havoc. Literally, that was my first job in LA, and like, forever will be grateful, and I just hope that I'm able to say this on a much greater stage, and be able to pay it forward in some way. Anywho, this is me trying to help. So, long story long, I left that job because I was like, I didn't move out to LA to work in a non-industry job. So, I applied to be a Media Summit coordinator for NALI, the National Association of Latino Independent Producers, and was making it work with the money I was making. Facial expressions are everything, and we'll move forward from that conversation. All to say that who ended up becoming a mentor for me, Ben Lopez, was like, yo, are you going to work in entry-level production jobs making barely minimum wage? It's still the case today. Or you literally left an accounting job, you graduated business school, you have a foundation in accounting and finance, etc., why don't you, if you're not going to be working in a writing capacity, get into production accounting? And with the support of his partner, I was able to land my first entry-level production accounting job, which in that ladder is a clerk. And I clerked for a production company that no longer exists. A lot of production companies in the last few years have shut their doors permanently, but it was Herzog and Company. And Herzog and Company really became a staple for a lot of CNN original series. A lot of those shows went through Herzog and Company, of which I helped in an accounting capacity for the following: the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, History of Comedy Season 1 and 2, 1968, the year that changed America. And I think that's it. All that in the span of maybe 2 years. Shout out to my boss Larry. Shout out to the folks at Herzog and Company. A lot of really great people, amazing talent. But yeah, so essentially our accountants are what keep projects running. They're usually, sometimes even before producers, the first on a project. Sometimes after producers, the last on a project, depending on if it's in the studio system, then blah, 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 blah. So accountants know what's up. And they handle a ton of things, including people's personalities, to ensure folks get paid, to ensure businesses get paid, etc., etc. I ended up doing my few years at Herzog and Company, went to grad school, graduated, got into the guild. Shout out to Selena, shout out to Moises. That ended, and immediately, with the great money that I was making from that job, facial expressions are everything, will move forward from this, I was like, I'm suck it up and go back to accounting because I got bills to pay. And so worked for Rice Gordon Pictures, which is a Partco that focuses primarily on post accounting. And I mean, Emily Rice is like the number one baddies of accounting in the film and television industry. So when I say whatever foundation I had from Herzog and Company to where I was after Rice Gordon Pictures, like, she showed me the ropes, both in film and TV, both in the studio system and outside the studio system. And I worked for her for 2 years. Got paid the most money in my careers thus far, until I was wonderfully recommended, again, back to Ben Lopez. Ben Lopez's partner recommended me for a job at Paramount to work on short-form digital content across the Paramount umbrella. And honestly, I can't wait to write again, but it's been accounting that's paid my bills. It's been accounting that afforded me the ability to be a homeowner in Los Angeles before the age of 30. And I'm not saying this as like a way to deter you from going all in on a much more creative field, but as someone who is a child of an immigrant who doesn't have the luxury of calling mom and dad and saying, hey, I can't afford rent this month, or what have you, or move in with my parents because they live in the same city. My parents are in San Antonio, Texas. I just knew that, to varying degrees, and a lot of it was also my folks, that I would have to make sure that I was good. And accounting, having a second major, having another field or career or occupation to have in case of emergency purposes, in case I'm unemployed again as a writer, etc., has been a crucial element to me surviving the industry and to me surviving this specific period of the industry. And so, yeah, I think if you're really good at numbers, you do not need a CPA. You do not even need a degree. And just like the rest of the industry, it's all about who you know. But if you're good with numbers and you pay attention to detail, literally what Ben Lopez told me was like, are you going to work minimum wage, 12 hours a day, entry-level production, when you already know you want to be a writer and you need free time to continue developing your craft? Or work a 9 to 5, sometimes, work in accounting, 8 hours instead of 12, $100 to $200 more a week than entry-level production, and do the thing that you came here to do, right? And so, very grateful for Ben, very grateful for the opportunities that accounting has given me, and just a food for thought as we continue talking about the industry. Thanks.